Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Cape Crusader Cody. We're keeping it geekly with our returning guest, Christopher Curtis. We're here to break down Jazz, Juggernauts against Zealots, Chapter 0, and everything in between. I had the chance to check out a handful, 20 pages of this, and this thing is gorgeous. I can't remember how many pages I checked out previously, if it was even at a point where I could read it. But I gotta tell you, man, I am digging this. I mean, the interiors of this, the action, the page turns, the characters, this thing is gorgeous. And one of my favorite things about this, Chris, if I could be honest with you, is like, we were talking backstage, this isn't your first like run with it. Like, you know, the fact that you had this, you know, flop before and then you came back swinging, like, is such an awesome trait of yours, man. It's infectious almost.
Oh no, I'm a testament to my own will, and I'm also very hard-headed.
So, I mean, tell us a little bit about what's been up since you last been on, man.
A lot. I signed to Kame Studios, so
Okay.
they liked what I was doing with Jazz, so they kind of like hired me on, and then they hired me on. Like, they hired a whole bunch of artists. So I'm actually partnered now, which is great.
So what does that entail? Like,
as of right now, because it's like a ground floor studio, our head, Siam, he is running a kind of like a dual leadership, where he runs like a comic book side, and then he runs like a fighting game FGC thing.
dude.
So he has like actual fighters that like go to like tournaments and whatnot, and he's been like flip-flopping back and forth. So it's a great way to like promote the business. And so there's like, we're able to get in with like fighting game companies, and there's always talks of like promotion and brand advertising and whatnot, like up there, so that can help promote with, like, you know, like with the comics. So he has a fiery passion. So working with him is like, you have to be his level, or he'll tell you like, you're just not, you're not part of the brand. So
Yeah.
It's been pretty busy, pretty active. So I'm just trying to give him a product that is worthy of the Kame Studios brand, and I feel like
That's so cool. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. And you know, Jazz is like a perfect fit with that, right? Like, it's like, you couldn't ask for a better collaboration or partnership with that. I mean, was that, so when did that happen? Was that in the mix of like stuff before, or did that just recently happen?
It happened almost like 2 months ago.
Man, the come up just comes so strong. And let's kind of back it up a little bit though. Like, you know, what made you want to keep going, where a lot of creators would have probably just thrown in the towel? You know, like, this is not going to happen. You know, what was it for you? You know, for anyone who is watching right now wanting to give up, like, what was your reasoning for just keep chugging forward?
So after the third Kickstarter, which was earlier this year in March, either March or April, I had a whole like side of like self-doubt, and I figured like, well, maybe my writing is not that good. Maybe this is like a sign to go hang up. So but before I did that, I worked with Anthony Stokes, which we did Tap or Die. And Tap or Die, which was more his writing, but like my concepts, and it was such a big success for him that I figured that it wasn't me. It was just the fact that I had no idea how to make a campaign or like promote it. So I kind of came back to it slowly. I started asking questions. I worked with like Stokes. I worked with like Travis Gibb. I actually looked at other campaigns that were doing well and then that were failing, and I actually listened and looked, and I applied. And sometimes you just have to play the game, but you have to like know the game. So once I knew the game, it was ball. So as you can see, we're first day funded on the campaign.
I was so excited for you, man. I was so excited for you when I seen that. I was like, let's go. Like that. How did that moment feel after 3 just not going through successfully to fund your first day? Did you even see that happening?
Yes. I actually
let's go.
I know the guy who put me over. He's a good friend of mine. He saw the campaign on like Discord, and he was like, I've always wanted to be in jazz, and he just put in the 200, and I was like, whoa, okay, that's at 1,000. That's 1,000 today, and so he was high-fiving me. And
so how'd you celebrate?
I drank key lime pie with Stokes on Twitter Spaces, and he just like made fun of me for it for like 20 minutes.
It feels good, and I almost guarantee anyone who heard you call him Anthony was like, who? You mean Stokes? No, that's so cool. I love that you two collaborated as well. I mean, let's touch a little bit of base about Tap or Die before we get into what we're here to talk about. So that was the book that you two worked on previously. How did that go for you? What's that? What is that story about?
So what it was, well, actually what it was originally and what it is now is almost like the same thing, but it's about a wrestler named Domino, who is trying to rise up in the wrestling promotion that he's at, and he's purposely being held down by the promoter, and so he decides to cut his own path to greatness, and in doing so, it spurns leadership. So he has to kind of swim upstream in this like wrestling world. So most of his battles and ventures is going to be about him braving the odds and coming up top.
I love that, and the art in that was just as gorgeous. So I mean, are we going to expect more like manga like type books from you, or like is this like the style you're driving to, or is there going to be any sort of different art change for you in the future?
I like the manga style, but I do have another project that's not going to be in manga style. It's going to be in like a kind of a sweet sapphic art style, so to speak. It'll be very light, and it'll be for the girls, I would say.
Ooh, okay, all right. So I mean, speaking of manga style, we're here to talk about Jazz. How long has this been a book that you've been working on? I mean, I know we talked about a couple Kickstarters, but like, how long has this been like a passion of yours for?
I started doing all this at the very end of 2021, so about 2 years.
And how many pages are we looking at for Chapter 0?
Chapter 0, it's 2 versions of it. Chapter 0 base is 51 pages. The special edition is additional, I think I have it like additional 15 pages of like extra content. So you get to see like concept art. You get to see a statement from Siam. You get to see a statement from me about Kame Studios, and just a bunch of and you get to see a whole little credit page of thank yous.
That's so cool. I love that. And I mean, this is Jazz, Juggernauts against Zealous. What does that mean? Like, what is this? Break us the title down a little bit.
All right, so I tried to make the most punkish thing that I could, and I was like, it's literally a story about rebels that are trying to disturb a establishment that is lying to its people about the alien monster invasion. So when you do things like that, you have to make noise to disrupt. And jazz just came to my head because I was like, that is a form of making noise, and that's essentially what jazz is in its own nature. So I stuck with jazz, and I was like, I need to find out how to make that to an anagram, but I don't know how to like do the Z's. So which you would think that was the hardest part, but I listened to like Cassidy and like Black Alicious, who has a song called Alphabet Aerobics, and it's a song where he raps from like A to Z, and when he gets to Z, the like the very last words are overzealous zealots, and I was like, right there, those are my Z's right there. Now I have to go figure out the other JA, but no, it's basically just just something punk that I thought will work, and that whole spin hasn't connected yet, but it will soon.
I love it though. It's an awesome one, and I mean, we have an awesome cast of characters as well. You know, we're looking at the cover right now. Let's go ahead and kind of break some of these characters down. So at the top, you know, in the purple, who's that?
I'm gonna do this off memory, but that is Keisha Connor, aka Killswitch.
Okay.
She has the ability to summon monsters at will. It's usually monsters that she defeats in battle. It's almost like she has like a Pokemon type skill. She can only carry 2 at a time.
I love that. So what was your inspiration though? I mean, that is a really unique concept, like the monsters that she defeats. I mean, are we looking at any sort of like Final Fantasy influence or any other video game influence in that realm? Yeah, no,
if you like throughout the whole series, you're gonna sit back and realize that I'm just a big stealer. There's theft. I've stolen so much of things that I like. With her, it's like I wanted, because this essentially, like, if you're about to get this really big like exclusive, Jazz wasn't always a comic. When I first started this, Jazz was a video game between me and a friend of mine, and we never got past the certain level of design when we were doing this like RPG. So I took my story and was like, well, it's mine. I'll go do a comic about it, and we'll just hope for the best.
You could still come back to that. Like from what I read, it would be a perfect game.
Yeah, no, he talks about it, but like I don't think that he's as serious as I am about it. So I don't know. Like if anybody else wants to do it, by all means. But no. So she also has the power of flight. She has your ordinary hand blast. She's like you know, think of like Green Lantern, so to speak. Like she has kind of those like those kind of skills. But I designed all the like every character that you see is multifaceted in some form of the different faces of like Black people. So she's your straightforward like alternative one that doesn't get much love in the media. So I was like, that's my forefront right there. So
what about Malcolm, the one right underneath her?
Malcolm Duncan. His name is Beats. He is what this is actually a little hip hop knowledge. He is what I call a sound bomber, and his abilities are all sound based. So that's awesome. He has the ability to, if you create sound, he can capture it and push it back at you. He can even deafen you and kind of leave you dazed. I forgot what else it was. It was some. Oh, well, I'll wait because that actually is like part of the story.
But, we don't want to dig out too much right now.
No, but I will say, so if you ever look up sound bombing, it was a mixtape from DJ Raucus, and it had a whole bunch of like late 90s rappers on it, like like Mos Def, Talib Kweli, Eminem, and it was my sister's like favorite like mixtape of all time. It's a really good collection of rappers on there. So when I saw sound bombing, I was like, that has to be used in a comic. I don't know how it hasn't been used yet, because sound bombing is essentially like train bombing, and train bombing is when you take a can of spray and you like graffiti a train up. So that's where that like term comes of like train bombing, sound bombing. So I was just trying to like reintroduce cool back, and I'm hoping it'll connect later. It hasn't yet.
I love that though. That is so. I mean, like, what's some? Is it like percussion, like that, or like bass booming? Like, what's some of the more powerful features that he can manipulate with these sound waves?
So when he uses his abilities, he can project a microphone into his hand.
Oh, that's awesome, dude!
Like subwoofers behind him, and that's kind of his way of being a showman with his powers. Before he joined Jazz, he was actually a rapper in Neo Haven, and leaving things out of the details going forward, that's where most of his powers manifested when his origin story had progressed forward. I'm trying not to say too much.
I know. I make it way too easy. So let's back up a little bit. Let's pivot over to Mute. I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot to say. Kind of a scary looking guy from the cover. You know, what can you say about him?
Mute is actually one of my favorite characters I've ever made in my life. He doesn't talk.
Dialogue's easy with him.
Oh, it's super easy. You know, he doesn't talk per se. He doesn't have a voice module at all. But he talks to you in pre-recorded television and radio segments.
I love that.
Think of like Bumblebee.
When they were getting the voice thing when he couldn't talk, and it was all those like the Bumblebee movie.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. That's awesome.
But I mean, like he's your sentient android. He comes equipped with flight, you know, hand beams, lasers. He's actually people think that like he's a part of Jazz, which he is, but he's actually a weapon extension from Hex.
Okay.
Hex built Mute.
So, I mean, how are you able to bring that to life in this manga? Like with him having those radio and cartoon voices, or the different type of voices. Like, how are you able to like exhibit that or show that within the pages?
So whenever he talks, he has a little moniker where it's like a buzz noise. So it'll always buzz, and then because it's in like a fictional world, I don't have to have an actual like McDonald's ad, but I can always like make up something like on the fly of what he wants to say. And what will happen throughout the whole series is that when he's trying to address certain people or to address like a certain person, it'll never change. He always will say like Soul Sister. Soul Sister is Nova. And so like everybody will know he's talking about Nova. So it's actually been like really fun. I need to sit down and make a make a like voice directory for like, you know, for like fun at some point.
Speaking of Nova, we have her right in the corner as well, and she packs one hell of a punch, if I'm not mistaken.
She packs several. So Liara, who is the last member to join Jazz, she was a ex-MMA fighter for Neo Haven, so she has an actual natural physical skill in fighting hand to hand. But she ran into one of the excursion monsters prior to joining Jazz and suffered a life-threatening attack, but she was saved by Hex and Mute, and they took her back to their lab, and they adjusted her spine with the monster like she was fighting, and in doing so she was able to acquire the arms, which was not really what they were like. It wasn't for that, but she got it. But no, she's all punch, all attitude, and all fun. And
I love
that. That might piss off a character or two in Jazz, so to speak.
And then last but not least, we have Jay Morgan, aka Hex, right in the corner, right? The Braveheart mech suit. I love that design. Where did you come up with that? Did you let your artist kind of just go ham, or did you have something that you kind of based it off of?
Yeah, everything. But no, it's mainly if you look at it and you squint, you might feel like I've seen this before. And if you played Overwatch, you're like, I've seen it before. Diva is one of my like favorite characters, and I've always liked to have a bipedal mech as a weapon for a character. I just couldn't figure out how to do it. Hex is one of the founding members of Jazz, next to Killswitch, and is essentially a very big opponent for the story. Hex is also non-binary. I got the idea from a old coworker of mine who is also not non-binary, and even helped me with like tips on how to make this character and to not make it into like a laughing stock, to actually make them more genuine. And the finished product they loved, so I was awesome. Like, I think I did them proud on it. So Hex is actually my like second favorite character on Jazz, and I just can't wait for everybody to like kind of see why.
We have my good friend Captain B Dub joining in us on YouTube, saying sending love. Low key getting a Kudama drive vibes from the art. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. A Kudama?
Oh, Kodama Drive. Yeah,
I can't believe how wrong I was off.
No, that is actually really cool. I was trying to get a Kaiju number 8, but like Kaiju number 8 came out after I did Jazz, and I kind of was like, "Fuck, that is too cool.
That's fire.
It's too close." But Kodama Drive, yeah, that's actually pretty close. I should start using that instead.
B-Dub, thank you for swinging in at the right time, because you just gave him the best compliment of the day. So, I mean, with Jazz, this is chapter 0. How long is this series going on for? How long can you foresee this going?
So, Jazz is actually going to end in about 12 issues. But that doesn't mean that the whole story ends. Jazz itself is going to conclude with a nice finish of the current story, but the whole mystery is still out there. So I've decided to kind of go my way into like a MCU style of writing. So once Jazz finishes, there's like this very next segment, which no one knows yet.
Ooh.
Which is fantastic. So like people just found out today if they're listening.
I love that. We're getting so much exclusive look. Let's take another look though. Let's go over to the Kickstarter and take a look at what we're talking about. So give me a few seconds. We're going to get this added to screen, and then we're going to check this out together. Dude, I'm excited to get you on. I know the first time we talked about this, you know, it didn't fund. I'm excited now, like you're on here and it's already funded. Like that is such an awesome feeling, man. Congratulations once again. So currently at $1,232 of a $1,000 goal. Let me go ahead and put this in the chat for everyone watching. It is free to share this on Twitter and Facebook. Anywhere you could post a link. You have nothing to lose. We would love to see you back it, but if you have no funds, word of mouth costs you nothing. So make it happen. It's my birthday. You better back this, or you better share this to wish me a happy one. So, I mean, 42 backers, 20 days. You still got 20 days left to go. We could still get this up to 2,000 or 3,000. And here is a larger look at that cover. And of course, we went through all those characters right in order. So, yeah, I mean, what can the reader expect from this story? Like, what would you hope someone reading this, like, that they take away from it?
I really hope that at the end of the day, people learn to question leadership sometimes. To not be okay with just being told when something's fishy. You know, don't pee on me and tell me it's, you know, sweet tea. Essentially. So it's that, but also there's a couple of like other subtext stories going on too. There's a little bout of forgiveness. There's a little bout of family trauma and how everything that happens to you is not your fault, and you have control in the end, as long as you don't let it control you. There's a lot going on, but also to have fun, because this is just one of those like kind of pulpy comics.
And then what's Neohaven like? I mean, as a city, I mean, it just sounds so explosive and so much going on. I mean, what can we expect from the city?
Oh, Neohaven is if you looked at any form of like cyberpunk movie or video game, it's a neon filled world. There's technology around you. The people who walk the streets, they vary from like robots to humans. When the portals open up over the city, every building has a shield system so that it will protect the buildings while they deal with with the monsters. And by they, I mean the Neohaven military. It's made for them, but because Jazz is there now, Jazz has to go up against the military and the monsters, because they're messing with the flow of routine. But yeah, it's just a simple cybernetic city, all types of wild futuristic stuff going on, cars with no wheels on it. It's like that.
This is so badass too. I love right here You know, we're seeing the ring get activated right here. We're seeing mute save Soul Sister, you know, while supplies last. That's fucking hilarious. And then the supernova, like the punch. These arms are so wicked. What inspired you for this? This is such an awesome concept. It's almost like butterfly wings, but they're fist.
That's...
He's like, you got it.
You would not believe what is on my dock. Because I mean, I wanted her to like emphasize that like she just wants to punch, and I was like, do I make her arms like a certain color or a certain way? And all of a sudden I was like, let's just make them bigger. Like, just make them bigger. She can grow them at will. When she does her supernova punch, she actually, it grows to a huge size. I didn't include it in the Kickstarter, which I wish I did, because it is such a big impact.
I love this too, Mute. He's going all ham. These interiors are absolutely gorgeous. Who is all involved on the creative team while we're going through these preview pages?
Just two people. It's I'm the writer, and Goldberg Villanueva, a Filipino artist, is in charge of the art, external and internal.
So we got the rewards right here. Every backer will be added to the credit page. So I love that as well. This is gorgeous. I love seeing it in color.
Well, that's actually one of the big favorites right there. Go up the very first one.
Right here?
Yeah. This one is actually really, really good because it showcases like that creator and the created relationship. Like,
yeah,
because like, I mean, they made Mute for weaponry, for physicality, but it's like such a like bond that I feel like should be way more important, and it's shown right there. I love it a lot.
I love seeing it in color. It's so gorgeous. And this is beautiful too. Holy crap.
Oh, that one is my dad's favorite.
It's so good. Who did these? Is same artist?
No. These are all variants. Ash Kohari from NK6 did the first one. This one right here is done by David Meha. And then the very next one is done by the same person who did Tapper Dye's cover.
So let me ask you this though: did you have these variants for the first campaign, or was this something new that you added to this campaign?
This is brand new. This, because I was gonna pull up all the old covers, and then I was like, no, I can't. Do
you think these helped? Like,
yes. These are much better covers. I love every artist who I worked with on the very last campaign. They were all my friends. But I realized that like I couldn't do the friend art right now. I had to use a certain style, and I had to use certain people. The friend art comes later. Like, once I get big enough, I'll be hiring all my friends to be like, all right, now who wants to do this?
I love the exclusive branded mailer. I had one for Keeping It Geekly merch, and you feel like such a badass. You're like, no one else is packaging it like this. Like, it looks so clean and everything.
Right.
All right, let's go ahead and check out some of these rewards here. So you can get the digital copy of this 50 pages for $5. Outstanding price. You can get the special edition for $10. You have the physical copy of cover A for $15. You can get that. How do you pronounce the last name?
I don't. I never.
I was hoping on you. You get the Emilio physical variant cover for $20. And then you can get the Dave Miha.
Yep.
Physical variant cover for $20. And then the Ash cover for $20 as well. Awesome prices on that. You can double up that special variant with Tap or Die for $30. You can get the showcase, David and Miha showcase for $30. So you had another variant from Tap or Die?
Yeah. So this was actually Stokes' idea. He figured that I should find ways to bundle Tap or Die. I think it's, because they're both kind of like a unique type of style, even though they're kind of different. Like one's wrestling and the other one's, geared towards something else. But I think, we've talked about this before too, that like the style, like it just makes sense to do it, because if people aren't going to back, they won't back. But if people do want to back, you miss out not doing it. Yeah.
And then you can get the limited edition collector's bundle. What's all included in that?
You get a jazz cover magnet, which can go on your refrigerator or a car. Last time I checked. You can get this really, really exclusive, I'm not selling this nowhere else sticker of Mute and Hex, done by Chaotix on Twitter. I
Holographic?
I have to add them on the credits for this, because that art is my favorite one I've ever had. I have this on like a t-shirt somewhere. Like that's how big it is.
This is holographic though?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
And then you get a jazz logo coaster, drink coaster.
That is awesome, man.
You also get a pick of any jazz cover and any type of die cover book as well.
And if you think about it, like right here, you're paying $30 for these variants and these variants. So I mean, that's an outstanding price on your tiers, man. You can get the all cover bundle for $70. So if you liked all those covers and you couldn't find out which one you wanted to get them all. And then all comic bundle at 100. So all the jazz, all the Tapper die. Man, these are so awesome. Then join Neo Haven in chapter 1, $200. What type of character can they expect to be? Like background character or maybe a line of dialogue? Like what were you guys thinking?
So if you go back up to that tier, I already have people in chapter 0.
Which tier?
I mean, you're already on it. So like scroll up a little bit.
Okay. Sorry.
So those are actual people that are already in jazz. It's a showcase that like I'm really serious about it. Like that like guy in the middle is my dad.
Oh, dude, he's
awesome. Actually Hex's father in this story.
That's so cool.
So whenever people back these kind of like tiers, you always will like see their character, and then you won't see them again. And it's kind of like, for $200, you're a part of the story, and I will be putting you in multiple books, depending on what you want to do. So like if you want to be a jazz reporter, then I'll find some way to make you into the actual ongoing narrative. If you want to join the Neo Haven government, I have places like already set up for you to go join that. Like, and you will keep showing up, and you will almost feel at home reading jazz, because it's like, oh, there I go over there, and now I'm here over here, and now I'm back over there.
That's so cool.
Just trying to like make it more lively.
For everyone watching, we're looking at some of the Tapper Die preview pages as well. And then TNT Super Sister. So this I love this. Give us a little bit about this. This is, when I read it, I was like, dude, Dad of the Year, for real.
Dad of the Year. So with this Attack on Titan cover, that is me. I'm the big monster here. And the two girls, those are my kids. The robot is my wife. This is
a book you guys actually made too, Dinosaur Chicken Nuggets, right?
Yes, I was trying to boost the whole thing, like the whole creativeness out, out of that. But I made a very short one-shot comic. Both my kids share elemental names. Like Taryn is Earth, Talia is Water, so they have the water and Earth powers. And it's just a very short comic of them coming down to stop me from terrorizing a city with like meatballs and like spaghetti. It's almost in the guise of jazz, but not too much into it. I was just being silly, but it's my youngest daughter's like favorite book. I need to like get it printed at some point because my wife wants it. But yeah, I feel like people need to like read the like lighter stuff, and I got it right here.
And I mean, kids especially too. I mean, comics have such a like vast and deep like vocabulary. So like having something kind of like geared towards them is awesome. And by the way, your kids have awesome names. All my kids have like really unique names too. We have Genesis, Atlas, and Ronan.
I would have joined you so quick.
Hey, when you get that third, it's hard. All right, when you can balance 2, you can do it. But once you have 3, it's like, do whatever you want. Just please don't hurt each other.
Third's over. It's only 2 for me. I'm done.
By the way, we have Captain Beat Up saying the robot dude's design is sick. Mute is one bad mother. I love that too. The Z, and then like while supplies last. Like that's killer.
It's funny because like Kill Switch is a crowd favorite, and I spent the least amount of time on her character. which makes me very sad. But no, Mute love is always good. I love Mute too.
Punch his mouth.
It's time for boxing. No, she
so
talks
cute.
like that. Like that's how she talks.
Hey, sometimes you need that though, all right? Sometimes you need someone to not take any ish and just dish it off they got to, you know?
Oh, she does.
So stretch goals, we got some. Stretch goal number 1, you get a chapter 1 cover reveal. 2 is a big announcement for this series. And then at 3, at $2,000, every physical copy is signed. So dude, that's phenomenal. And of course we want all over everyone right here that's been involved. Here is the link, excuse me. Be sure to check this out, guys, and click on these links. Go check them out. Give them a follow on the respective social media platforms. Everyone involved is awesome. You're also in the Cthulhu Invades Netherlands series?
Yes.
Let's go.
Something else you also missed. Yeah, I'm in there.
I'll be joining that, I think, the next one they do. I got told that I'm for sure going to be getting hired on for it. I was like, okay, I just started class for script writing, but let's do it.
No, yeah, Travis put me on there with Devin Arscott.
Okay, yeah, let's go. Let's go. That's going to be an awesome, man. Are you able to talk about what story you're doing, or is that kind of still under wraps?
Oh, no, it was on the Kickstarter. He actually put me up front. Like
oh, let's go, dude. Congratulations. That is awesome. Speaking of Kickstarters, for anyone who is on the fence about backing this, Chris, what would you like to say to them to kind of help push them over that hump?
If you like political awareness comics, it's there. If you like action comics, it's there. If you like badass women, it's there. There's a lot happening with Jazz that I like. I want people to be a part of. Not just chapter 0, but like chapter 1 and then going forward. So just come along for the ride. I promise you that I have a very good narrative for you, and you will not be upset or distraught with what you read.
I love it. And last but not least, we are getting close to wrapping it up. This has probably been the longest interview I've done since I took a break. So in about 2 months, man, I think we're going to hit something really heavy. You know, as someone who, tried to do this 3 times and it didn't take off, and you had to sit back, observe, learn. What was some of the biggest things that you learned and you implemented that you think led to the success of the campaign? Like for anyone else who is struggling and ready to give up, like what should they try, to help them succeed?
I'm a big rebel at heart. So when you tell me to do exactly what somebody else does and says to be able to be like successful, I will fight you on it, because it's like, no, I want to be different. I want to get to this split, get to this area without doing what they're doing. I'm here today to tell you, just do what they're doing. There's a reason why it's working. Like, just don't fight the tide. Do exactly what people are doing. Prepare to not profit on your very first Kickstarter. Just fund. Funding is your biggest goal. On the very next ones, then let's start getting profit. But you want to just fund.
Give us like 1 or 2 things, I guess you would say, like that the top dogs are doing that you definitely should try to mimic.
Okay, set your goal lower than you need, and push for your goal that you want to be met as like a stretch goal. But you want to definitely lower your goal, and you want to be diligent with where you're putting your Kickstarter at and who you work with. You want to look at like your audience. You want to like research where your audience is at, and you want to do as best as you can to find them. And that's pretty much all that I can say, because that's kind of all that I've been doing.
There's someone in the back like, Chris, you better not say another word.
I'm reading the cue cards just fine. What do you mean?
He's like, cut it off. So outside of creating, what are you consuming? I mean, let's talk video games, TV shows, books. I mean, what are you doing outside of creating?
I need to get back on that, honestly. I've just been like twiddling my thumbs, waiting on Starfield to come out. Like, that's just kind of my whole thing right now.
That's going to be a big one.
Oh, yeah. And once that comes out, I don't know what's going to happen to Jazz, because I'm going to be really stuck.
Like, you guys will never see me again.
Yes. Like, yo, you thought Cody not being on Twitter was rough?
I wasn't gone that long. Come on.
You were gone so long that like someone like name dropped you, and I was like,
Who?
I think I saw him the other day.
Like take a hit. I haven't heard that name in years.
That's what it felt like. He just popped up and was like, I've been at school, and I was like, oh, there go Cody.
Yeah, hey. So guys, once again, right here is the link. Back it today. It's my birthday. Wish me a happy birthday by backing it. But you can also do that by sharing this wherever you can. Word of mouth is 100% free. Christopher, thank you for swinging by. It's always a pleasure to get you on. And I just love that we were able to do this with a fully funded campaign. Let's make it. We got 20 days to go. So let's see that double or triple and hit those stretch goals. Let's make that happen. Get signed copies for everybody.
Oh, no. Stretch goal 2 is the one that I want to hit.
Oh, the big announcement, right?
Oh my God. Like, that is a game changer. Like, I can't tell nobody until we hit that goal, because that's actually my actual goal. But oh my God, I'm stressed out.
Just what, like a couple hundred away almost.
I know. I'm like, I forgot where I put my graphic for it, but like, no, like, this is like, Cody, like when I tell you that like Jazz is like it's undergoing a big change. Like, it's really doing it. So like, I want people to be invested in it more so than being like excited for it.
Let's go. We got Beat Up saying solid interview. Hey, stay tuned. We're going to have more of it. I'll be coming back to Twitch as well. I'm hoping to get that under the Keeping It Geekly moniker. A lot of things are coming back, so just stay tuned. Stay patient with me, guys. But most importantly, keep it geekly.